This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Let's get right into the news. Well, Cuffy is a guy out of St. Louis, and the Gatling family. And there was two Gatlings. One was home when BMF blew up in Atlanta. The other one was home I guess they were both home in the 80s and 90s when BMF set up in St. Louis. But this particular Cuffy Gatling went to jail. This is how Blue Da Vinci didn't even know him. This is what's so funny about this. So Blue Da Vinci was mentioning this. Blue Da Vinci didn't even know this guy. This guy was in jail from 1998 to 2008 or something like that. He missed the whole music thing of BMF. He was around when they weren't even really BMF. He was around when it was T and Big Meech. And they met in 1990. And I guess Big Meech was great friends with Cuffy, okay? And his brother. Now, let's just, I'm going to deep dive into this more later. So don't be like, oh, Jordan, you missed this and this. I've listened to a couple interviews from Cuffy, right? And he got done dirty, okay? And indirectly by Big Meech. Big Meech is on his paperwork and not as a confidential informant. This other girl is Tammy. And Tammy is the one that owns the rights to Big Meech's story, right? And he did that prior, 2008 probably, around there, right? Somehow she befriended him and got the rights, right? So when Cuffy was doing a movie, and this is loosely piecing all these interviews together, he was doing a movie on his experience from his perspective. And Big Meech's story is owned by Tammy, so he connected her with Tammy. In the midst of him talking with Tammy and everything, she became an informant for allegedly. Okay, I mean there is paperwork on it, so she was okay. And somehow some guy Meech knew, some guy Meech met. It was a not just some guy. It was a cartel guy. He met him in Detroit, and this guy ended up beating his case, but he really liked Meech. So this guy's out, and somehow he connects with Cuffy through Meech, right? Or through Tammy or through Meech, something like that, right? All I know is what happened is here, Tammy was dealing with Cuffy because she owns the rights to Meech's story. Meech connected them. In the midst of them being connected, somehow this connect gets dragged into this, and he ended up beating his case again on this, but dragged into this. Or supposedly he was supposed to drop off some work to Cuffy, and somehow Tammy was able to find out that information, and which wasn't true. And he got time for conspiracy of some sort, right? From Tammy, right? Even though the case ended up falling apart in court due to Tammy sleeping with the agent, and obviously she was getting paid to be a CI, right? But Cuffy is blaming Meech because he connected Tammy and Cuffy. But Meech wasn't aware that she was a CI that time, during that time. It's not like he said, okay, now you're going to work with this guy and you're going to become a CI. I think that just happened. And yeah, in a sense, Meech was the bridge between the two of them and got Cuffy in trouble. And of course, Meech is going to be in the paperwork because it makes it juicier. You got a big guy like Big Meech, and the paperwork, it gets more attention. Cuffy got 27 years some of those, he served 10 for one thing already. I think it was the conspiracy or something. But there's another 17 for like some ghost gun and ghost drugs that never existed that are on his case that he'll probably end up beating. But for him to be coming out right now through his daughter, who I don't even know how old she is, but maybe she was too young to even realize all this, and she's going off her dad's word. To call Meech a snitch is a stretch. To blame him for connecting him and Tammy together is accurate, right? But he didn't know. What a mess for Big Meech. What a mess. And he can't do anything because Tammy owns the rights to his story and she's doing all the business for the BMF story. It's just what a mess. This is where it goes with trusting the wrong people. So do I think Big Meech is a snitch? No, but I think Whack 100 and Blue Da Vinci are really trying hard to paint that and using the Cuffy, who was friends with Meech, to paint that really hard to get the stink off of Blue Da Vinci that he cooperated by debriefing and getting a safety valve. This has been broken down many times. You only get a safety valve if you have something to share. In the debriefing, which he hasn't produced the debriefing paperwork, would say that he's not a CI. Yeah. Blue Da Vinci wasn't like a cold-hearted snitch like O-Dog, right? But, he worked, he took a deal, of some sort, where he, confirmed what they had. Probably confirmed the limo was real, Probably Ralphie gave it up and he confirmed, he was the second person to confirm it was real, which turned out to be real. And that's that. But I see what's going on. It's smoke and mirrors. This story just doesn't stop going, It just keeps on going. Blue Da Vinci would have to produce his debriefing paperwork to prove he's not a snitch, and he's probably not going to do that because he's the only one that has it. It's not public. It's a safety valve, unless they release the valve, to my knowledge, right? If they release the valve, that means you have to go in court and be on papers, right? I don't know, man. This whole thing is so messy, and I don't think Big Meech cares anymore. I mean, he's lost most of his life to these charges, he's been in there for 17 years now or something like that. It's crazy. So 17 years in jail, and probably only cares about his son doing well right now, because his son's the one that's going to be able to take care of everybody legally. Anyways, we'll dive more into this Cuffy thing later. He's done a lot of interviews. And to find out he wasn't even around from 98 to and on is like, and Blue Da Vinci's mentioning him. The whole thing is like, it stinks, Anyways, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. Peace.